Hi, Dr. Aaron Flickstein here. Well, I thought it'd be a good time to show you some more self-care tips, and we're going to focus on the chemical side of the triangle of health, which is composed of good biochemistry on one side, good neurostructural integration on one side, and good mental emotional health on another side. So let's talk about the biochemistry of life here. You may have noticed Dr. Kessler's recent book on salt, sugar, and fat, the former head of the FDA, saying basically America is addicted to salt, sugar, and fat. And he has on the cover a nice piece of carrot cake on top and a carrot on the bottom to make the point that most of us are going to be more drawn to the carrot cake with its salt, sugar, and fat content than by the carrot per se, even though it might be a better food choice. So we need salt, we need sugar, we need fat, but what kinds? So I wanted to preview a few things you may not have seen at the store or picked up on yet that are very good in this area. First of which is called the flour of the ocean salt. This is from Solara.com, SOLARA.com, and this is also the Grain and Salt Society. And this flour of the ocean salt is the top grade of sea salt. It's the kind that they don't even usually sell at the co-ops, at least not here in Minnesota, and you have to special order it from Solara. But this is the salt at the very top of the heap when they evaporate salt water naturally in a clay pond. What rises to the top is the salt granules, and there's gradations of them. The crudest, biggest, thickest crystals are at the bottom. Then there's what they call Celtic gray, which is in the middle, and on the top is this, flour of the ocean. It's the most delicate salt, and it's the most delicious. Also, if you're worried about salt and high blood pressure, studies in Germany indicate that this salt will lower high blood pressure in people who already have hypertension. So, nice, safe way to go. A new sugar is on the market, coconut palm sugar. So what's so good about this? It says so right here, low glycemic index sweetener, and when they say low, it's pretty low. It's 35 on the scale where sugar or sucrose is 100, which means this hits your blood sugar about 1/3 as fast. And yet, for many of us, this will be an acceptable substitute for granulated white sugar. A little reminder about sugars and refining them. If you look at people who are working in the fields, harvesting sugar cane, who munch on the cane every day to get the sugar juice out, obviously not processed, raw sugar, they have perfect dentition, beautiful teeth. If you look at the same genetic group of people who've secured jobs inside the factory and are working where the refined sugar is available and touching it to their teeth, licking it all day long, those people's teeth have all rotted out of their heads. So we want something that's unrefined. This sugar, coconut palm sugar, has the lowest glycemic index of anything that's from the natural world I've seen. You can also use xylitol. It's another sugar, but it's more of a synthetic white powdery type of substance. And also organic evaporated cane juice, or sucanat, another acceptable form of sugar, but this is the lowest glycemic one I've seen to date. So salt, sugar, and to complete that, fat. Here we have raw, organic, Living Tree olive oil. This is from Living Tree Community Foods, and I believe you'll be able to find them on the web at their website. Let me see if I can get my glasses and read that for you. Thanks for your attention. I can't read that little tiny thing on there. Yep. So, livingtreecommunity.com. livingtreecommunity.com. Living Tree olive oil. It's unheated, unfiltered, and even unpressed. I'm not sure if they use a flute to get this out of the olives or what. It's a pretty amazing thing that they can actually get the oil out of there without heating it or pressing it or doing all the other things that most of the oils have done to them. Our food co-ops carry it in a separate section. Some of them do, some of them don't. You may have to look around for that. So one of the things we have to do with our body every day once we put the food in is make sure it doesn't stay on our teeth. And this little Proton toothbrush is very interesting in that it's got two dissimilar metals. You might be able to see the two different colors, and the maintenance on this brush is keep those bare by scratching them with a little piece of sandpaper, and as long as they're bare, when you put it in your mouth, it's going to complete a battery circuit. It's going to create a little current, and the current actually pulls the plaque off your teeth. So I thought, I don't know if this is going to be that good compared to the Sonicare toothbrushes that I've been using, but I did a 6-month experiment with it, went in, had my dental cleaning, didn't tell the dental hygienist, and we both noticed that that was the least tartar that I built up on my teeth in any recent 6-month period. So the Proton toothbrush, and you can find this up on the web, just Google it's like the part of the atom, Proton, Proton toothbrush. Another wonderful piece of the doing it well with food arena are these. These are almonds. They're not exactly raw. They've been sprouted and then dried. Now, if you read anything about sprouting, you'll find out that, especially with nuts and seeds, they have what are called inactivating enzymes in them, which inactivate our digestive enzymes, making them a little hard to digest. However, sprouting removes the inactivating enzymes. It deactivates them, so the protein and all the other goodies in the almonds are more easily absorbable and enjoyable. It makes it taste a little bit like popcorn to me, but much more fun. I have trouble eating almonds now that haven't been sprouted and soaked once I've gotten exposed to these. So your food co-op may carry them, or you may be able to find a bulk source on the web that you can use for these. And one other thing I think you should know about is the Stem Enhance line of products. So this particular product is Stem Enhance. It comes from the company called Stem Tech. You can go up on the web and find out more about Stem Tech at Dr. Aaron.stemtechbiz.com. draaron.stemtechbiz.com. So we have Stem Enhance. There's a couple of other products that go along with Stem Enhance. One opens up the flow in your blood vessels in case it's not as open as it needs to be, to make sure that what Stem Enhance does gets where it's supposed to do. And another one's called MigraStem. So what does this do? 2 capsules of this will help your long bones release 3 to 4 million stem cells, your own adult stem cells that you already make, but that hide in your long bones and are very hard to coax out of there. So these 3 to 4 million stem cells that you've already made, that are yours already, that you own, will now be released into the circulation. Stem Flow makes sure that the circulation is good down to the last little terminal capillaries, and then ST5 with MigraStem makes sure that the stem cells that have been released into circulation will actually migrate into the tissues that your body has targeted for rebuilding. So the body prioritizes where are the stem cells going to go. But this allows you to not wait for big pharma to start charging big bucks for some form of stem cell therapy, when you can actually use your own adult stem cells to start making new tissues. These cells have been radio traced using fluorescent marker DNA and found to be going into lots of different kinds of adult tissues. But we know one thing for very sure, that musculoskeletal complaints where you need to rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons can be helped a lot with this, because adult stem cells are very well known to reproduce the connective types of tissues. Whether they can produce brain tissue and other types of tissues, there's some debate in the literature about that, although the company has some pretty good research, and as you'll see if you go up to that website, some really good testimonials that are saying this stuff does more than we first thought it could. In fact, it kind of came up when people were taking blue-green algae, of which this is a specialized 5-to-1 concentrate, and they were getting all kinds of results that didn't relate to just alkalizing the body from too much acid stress, but were getting exceptionally unusual improvements in things people couldn't account for by changing the body's pH. So I'd urge you to go to draaron.stemtechbiz.com and look at these opportunities, especially if you're struggling with something that's severe or chronic or isn't responding well to medical care. Well, that's it for our 5 low-cost updates here on the chemical end of the spectrum, plus one really good preview of a supplement that you all need to know about, especially those of you who want to age as slowly as possible. Thanks.